Hey guys, welcome back. Today, rather than doing a formal review, I just kind of wanted to play with the Sapphire palette from Huda Beauty. This is part of their limited edition Precious Stones kit. I have done reviews on 3 of the other out of the 5, so you kind of know my thoughts on these. I'll show you the shadows in here. You get a mix of shimmers and mattes, and then this silvery one has sort of like blue micro glitter particles in it as well, if my camera will ever focus. And it just adds a nice little dimension there. I think it's really cool. So, don't really feel like swatching. I don't feel like repeating myself and saying how much I like these shadows, blah, blah, blah. I just want to play. To assist me with my creativity, I'm going to be following a pictorial that one of the people I follow on Instagram did. Her name is Coley_MUA. I will put her name on the screen, and I'm also going to link her in the description bar down below. And the pictorial that I am largely following is this one right here. I just think it's absolutely stunning. I need to turn my ringer off, apparently. So I'm not using purples, I'm just going to use the tones that are in this palette, but I'm going to see what we can do and if I can put my own spin on it or not. We'll see. So, let's do this. So I'm going to start off, obviously I don't have any face makeup on, and I don't have an elastic down here, so bunny ears it is, just to keep my hair out of my face. I'm going to start off by priming my lid with the Shadow Insurance from Too Faced. So I'm just going to apply that all over the lids, like a heathen with my fingers, but you know, they're God's tools, right? To help keep the shadows as vibrant as possible, I'm not going to set the primer first. I'm just going to go in with the first shade. The first shade that I'm going to go in with is this cobalt one down here, and I'm just using a really small, I guess you'd call it a shader brush. I think it has a number, the V15 from BH Cosmetics. I don't know what this shape is, but you see it. That's sort of what I'm going for. Just so that it's a little bit more precise. The bristles don't splay out because I don't really want it super blown out. I want it more precise in the placement. I don't have a lot of real estate between my crease and my brow bone. Like there's not a lot of space there, so cut creases are always a challenge on me because I don't have a lot of room to work with in terms of creating a gradient above the crease. So I have to keep everything kind of precise and a little bit smaller than what I see in the pictorial. So I'm going to go in and apply this basically just above the crease. And I'm not going to worry about blending it too much. I'm just kind of dotting on the line so that it is, the pigment's packed on there and it's not about blending right now as it is about placing it on. And if it goes down onto the lid like this, I'm not overly concerned about it because I'm going to be applying concealer to my lid at some point anyways. This eyeshadow goes on and looks, like in the viewfinder it looks completely matte. When you look up close to it, there are very tiny little dots of silver glitter in it. Nothing particularly chunky, like I don't even want to use the word glitter, like it's almost, I don't know how to describe it. It just has like a little tiny bit of a shimmer to it. It is silver, it is quite noticeable, like you can see it. I don't know if the camera will pick it up though. I don't know if you can see the light reflecting on it. I would still consider it to be a matte shadow, but there is just a little bit of something extra in there. Next up, I'm going to use this shadow right here, and I'm using a slightly more precise brush. This one is from a brand called Ruby. I'm pretty sure I got this in an Ipsy bag. It doesn't have a name on it, but it's not quite a pencil brush, but not quite a blending brush. It's kind of a hybrid of the two, so I like the precision of it. And then I'm going to apply that, sort of overlap it with the top of that blue and then up just a little bit beyond that as well. I have to say, I love how easy these shadows are to blend with each other. It's like they want to play with each other. The shape is a little bit different on each eye because my eyes are shaped differently. Yay, asymmetry. Drives me nuts. Okay. To finish off that gradient, I'm going to use the more lime green shade here, and I am using a very precise pencil brush. This one's from Makeup Geek. I really just want to pack on the pigment. If I need to blend it out from there, I'll use a different brush to do that, but this will allow me to have as much impact with the shadow as possible. Like, this isn't even a blending brush and it's still blending nicely. I'm really impressed by that. Just to make sure that everything is as smooth as possible, I'm going to go back in with that second brush I used and just again blend those edges with no additional product on the brush. Alright, now comes the scary step for me, and that is cutting the crease. It's a little anxiety inducing. I'm going to use the IT Cosmetics, what the hell is this called? Bye Bye Under Eye Full Coverage Anti-Aging Waterproof Concealer. This one is in the shade Light. IT Cosmetics and their shade names are a little misleading. I am typically light. This is basically white on me. So if I actually use it as concealer, it is way too bright, but I got it in an Ipsy bag, and it is perfect for cutting the crease. So that's what I use it for. So to assist me, you've probably seen other people do this trick, but I'm going to do it as well. So that it doesn't get all over my lashes, I kind of go in a really weird, awkward angle. I've got the concealer towards the tip of the bristles there, just a little tiny dot. And I just kind of put it right towards that lash line, right in the center. And I don't blend it anywhere because I just want to look up and then down, and then where it touches, that's where my crease is. So my actual crease is like down here. It's about a 1/4 mile away from where that line is. But just the way that my eyes fall, it's just a helpful trick. So I'm going to go ahead, cut the crease. Do you want to see this? You probably do. I don't know. Let me know down below if you ever want me to like skip steps and things like that, just let me know. But I've added more to the brush. The brush I'm using is the 220 from Makeup Forever. It's just a really thin, flat brush. And I just find that it really helps to give really precise placement. So I'm just going to dot some of that concealer on. And then go and very carefully, see where that line is, just sort of use really small strokes. And then pull down. I'm not going to take it all the way over. Just take it a little bit past the halfway mark. I don't know that there's any rhyme or reason to that, but I know I'm going to be putting darker shadows on the outer corner. That's just the look I'm going for, so there's no point putting a white, basically white concealer out there because it's just going to lighten everything up. So just going to pat it into place and then just use my finger and blend that edge, just pat it out so that it's not just a harsh line where it ends. And then repeat on the other side. Alright, now that that's done, I'm going to go back in and pick up this navy blue shade. This is a small, precise, fluffy blending brush. This one's from BH Cosmetics. It's the V20. Looks very similar to the E36 from Sigma. Next, I'm going to go back to that cobalt shade, and I'm using a shader brush from Real Techniques. And I'm basically just going to establish a gradient across the lid. So I'm just going to pat this along to where that navy is and up to the line up here. So I'm not going to bring that all the way across my lid, but I am going to bring it a little bit more, add more width to it than I did for the dark, because I'm going to create the teal rather than add the teal. I'm going to start off with the 350 from Suva. It's a really stiff, flat shader brush, and I'm hoping that that's going to allow me to sort of pack on the pigment. And then if I need to blend, I can always go in with another brush or something. We'll see. Alright. So my hope is that this is going to be nice and bright on the inner portion, and then it'll turn into a turquoise on top of where the blue is. That's my hope at any rate. And if it's not as turquoisey, which doesn't look like it's going to be, then I'll go in and add the actual turquoise shadow. Just going to pick up a tiny amount of the turquoise shade on this brush again and just kind of help that gradient along a little bit here. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and do my face makeup, and then I'll come back and we can finish up the lower lash line together. I'll be right back. So if my face looks a little flat, it's because I don't have any bronzer or blush or anything like that on yet, just foundation and concealer. For foundation, first of all, I went in with the L'Oreal Magic Lumi Primer, and then topped that with the Too Faced Cocoa Powder Foundation in Golden Light. I don't know if they still actually make this, but I just found it at Winners the other day for like 14 bucks, so couldn't help but pick it up because I love powder foundations. They're just so fast and easy. And then for concealer, I'm using the Jouer Essential High Coverage Liquid Concealer. Alright, so I'm going to put the picture back up. I really liked the shape that, her name is Nicole, that Nicole did here. It's certainly not something that I don't think I've ever really done a halo of a color all the way around the eye, but I really like it. It really ties in, it's really neat. Certainly not something I'm going to wear to the office, but I'm not in the office today, so I don't really care. So let's do this. I'm going to add that cobalt blue yet again onto the lower lash line, and I'm just using a really flat shading brush for that, flat eyeliner brush. This one is from e.l.f. Rather than using the Makeup Geek pencil brush for the yellow, or the chartreuse color I guess, I'm going to go in with one from Volair. This is the E09, just because it's got a little bit more give to the bristles, so I think it's going to help blend even more than the other one was doing. So, yeah, that's not going to work. That is not going to work. I got to add the turquoise in, so I'm going to use the pencil brush for that. That's definitely better. So don't try skipping steps. Oh, the asymmetry in my eyes drives me absolutely nuts. So I don't do cut creases very often. First of all, they take forever. They really do. They are not a practical eye look whatsoever. They are really cool looking though. But also, just because I have, like, this one droops a little bit more than this one, it just, I don't know, it just always looks a little off, but hopefully not too badly. All right, that is the eyeshadow done. I'm going to do everything else off camera and then come back and show you the final look and wrap this thing up. So I'll be back in a minute. And there is the final look. I will bump it in so that you can see a little bit more detail. I tried to apply false lashes. It went spectacularly wrong. So no false lashes today. There may be little globs of glue here and there. I think I covered them up and removed them, but you never know. Let's bump it in so you can take a look and see what's going on. So there it is there. I really like how these colors all come together. I like the overall look of it as well, with that like chartreuse color all the way around the outside. And I am very grateful to Nicole Marie for her pictorial on her Instagram page. So please go check her out. She's got a lot of great ones there and a lot of really intricate and really interesting eye looks as well. And that's it for this video. So let me bump it out so you're not just saying goodbye to my eyeballs. I'm going to thank you for playing with me today, and I will see you in my next video. Until then, just be a decent human being. Bye for now.